What's up, everyone? It's Bryan from Exact IT Solutions YouTube channel. I'm going live on Facebook and LinkedIn as well as YouTube. I usually don't do live videos. I usually record them and produce them, but unfortunately, I don't have a lot of time today, and I want to go live and get this video out there because it's pretty important. It's pretty good stuff. Russia's FSB, which is their security service, shut down the notorious REvil ransomware gang. And why I wanted to bring this to everyone's attention is because I talk about all the time on this channel that it doesn't seem like the Russians do a whole heck of a lot in terms of their authorities to work with the United States in order to get these guys to stop what they're doing or bring them to justice when we know it's them that's doing it. So today, we saw Russian authorities conduct raids at 25 addresses across Moscow, St. Petersburg, and Lipsk regions that belong to 14 suspected members of REvil or REvil. Sorry, I've pronounced that wrong again. And the gang, which kind of died off in July after they hit Kaseya. These are the guys that were responsible for Colonial Pipeline as well. And they really, in September, they tried to come back a little bit, but they really didn't come back as strong as they were before Kaseya. And if you remember, with Kaseya, they were able to get the key somehow. We still don't know how that happened. And with Colonial, they were able to get some of the money back. And they also came out yesterday and admitted that they've gotten money back in other attacks as well, not just Colonial Pipeline, and a lot more than what they advertised in the millions that they did get back. And the FSB has said it seized more than 426 million rubles. That's about 6 million US, about $600,000 in US cash and cryptocurrency wallets, computers, and 20 high-end cars. The FSB released a statement and said they conducted the search operations with U.S. authorities, and they notified the U.S. authorities of the results. And the detained members of the ransomware gang were charged under Russian law for illegal circulation of means of payment, which is an interesting way to charge these guys because the way that the laws are written in Russia right now, you can hack anyone else in the world but Russian citizens if you are in Russia. So if you hack somebody outside of Russia, Russia doesn't consider that a crime. But it appears that our United States authorities have identified other crimes that these guys were committing that were violating Russian law that prompted the FSB to actually do something this time. So kudos to our authorities for thinking outside the box and kind of circumventing the story that Russian authorities have been telling our authorities for the better part of almost a decade now, quite frankly. So the news of the SFB operation comes just 2 months after the United States actually charged a 22-year-old Ukrainian citizen linked to REvil. And 7 other REvil gang members were arrested through 2021, leading up to this. And it seems like even though it took 6 months, maybe some of the pressure that the United States President Joe Biden has put on Vladimir Putin is actually working a little bit. But it took a very long time. It's actually more than that. We're probably 7 or 8 months from that July meeting that they had. And then the other interesting thing about this to me is that this action taken by the FSB comes hours after a major cyber attack took down government websites in Ukraine on Friday. So I don't know, and I'm not saying there's anything related here. I'm just saying it's interesting that something that this country has absolutely refused to do has resulted in arrests and basically the United States government went into Russia and asked to have this done, and they actually did it when every other time we've asked, they've denied it, and they've said, you're not providing enough evidence for us to do anything here, or they didn't break any Russian laws, which is what they always fell back on. And apparently now Russia actually wants to play nice and do something. So a couple of things with this that come to mind right away. Number one, this ransomware group kind of was on its way out anyway. They're not one of the prolific ransomware groups right now. Conti and Lockbit seem to kind of be running the show right now with the amount of attacks that are happening and who we see being successful with attacks. Not only that, these guys that are part of these criminal organizations, they move around. So, I guess it's just like gangs in the United States where you could be a Blood or a Crip or whatever, throw a bandana on, you're part of that group. Something like that's going on over there. They move around. It's like switching jobs. So, but I wanted to kind of get this video out there quickly. It's the end of the day. I'm not going to have time to do a full video. So I went live. I rarely do it. But Russia's FSB shuts down the REvil group or what's our REvil group, whatever's left of them. And that's something that we can go into the weekend with kind of a feather in our cap to know that, there's probably 20 or 30 guys off the street now that aren't doing this stuff, that aren't attacking businesses, that aren't coming after them. And again, it's going to take a concerted effort between private businesses and the federal government and federal authorities to deal with this problem over the next 5 to 10 years. Before we really get into a place where we feel like it's not as much of a threat as it is today. But we still have work to do and we still have things to do. But this is some good news heading into the weekend. There's been a lot of bad news since the start of the year, but a lot of ransomware attacks. So here's a group that's been shut down, and hopefully, we can get some more groups in a similar manner. Because this kind of paves the way for us to use legal means to get this stuff done. So drop any questions or comments you have them below. Head over to our channel, Exact IT Solutions, over on YouTube. I'm going to cut out for the day, for the weekend. I hope you all have a good one. But yeah, REvil down, done, and we'll see you all in the next video. Take care.